Hello, hello! Welcome to Lord of the Dunce. And, well, we're almost there. We're almost at the time when we see whether Amazon will add Lord of the Rings to the pantheon of screw-up properties.
Maybe there's hope. Maybe.
Fuck Lawrence.
Meanwhile, Matchstick is still mad about...
Man,
box
this
of
is
Bloodborne.
this is a vindication.
It's a vindication. What did Lawrence
Well-
ever do to you? He killed me a lot.
Cause the apocalypse. You know.
Well,
Yeah,
speaking
that's
of the
true.
apocalypse, let's talk about Numenor.
Oh,
Atlantis.
Atlantis.
Yeah.
How did they cause the apocalypse?
Well, it's
Well,
not
it's
so
not-
much they caused the apocalypse, is that...
They
Well, they
are
sort
the
of did.
apocalypse.
Yeah, so it actually starts with an apocalypse, actually. So the story of Numenor begins at the end of the War of Wrath.
Hmm.
And Chinggis, do you remember the War of Wrath?
Remind me.
That is when Morgoth got defeated, the first Dark Lord.
Ah.
And it turned Balerion...
The one that ended up like destroying everything, like all the
Yeah.
soil and stuff like that. Okay.
Balerion, half of... Like, the entire continent of Balerion became a World War I battle zone.
Awesome.
So it got sunk into the sea. So as part of this process, an island was formed by Ulmo,
Hmm.
and it was called Numenor by the new inhabitants who were rewarded this island. And the original group was part of the Edine. Edine. The Edine were the men who allied with the elves against Morgoth. So like Baron was part of that lineage, and so think of those guys. So his descendants got this island, and in this island they developed these regions. So the main ones you kind of have to think about in terms of geography is a big mountain called Menatama, which is the highest mountaintop on the entire island, and in there it became a holy place for Manwë.
Metalmar.
Yeah, Metaramar.
Metalmar.
So it basically would become Mount Zion.
Oh, okay.
Think Mount Zion, except that's where the eagles hang out with for a bit.
Oh,
Arandor.
that's where your eagles were. Where were you when we needed you?
You know, there's a character called Rand. He's the protagonist in real time, and there's a country called Andor, which he was born in. Well, not really, which he was raised in. And this is a Randor. Sounds like just like a combination of the two.
So the other main one is Armenelos. That's the capital. If my memory.
Question:
Yes.
Is there a plot point to the reason it looks like a star?
Yes, actually, they actually specified that it was a star. Essentially, Numenorian imagery is stars and suns and moons, and it's a major motif because they got to this island. So the first king of Numenor is a guy named Elros.
All right. What does he do besides being
And
king?
you know him actually because he had a brother, a twin brother.
Oh.
Elrond.
Oh, legal weaving.
Yes. And Elros chose the men's path. And also, you know about him because I mentioned about the House of Phalius. Because during the third king slaying, Elros and Elrond were taken by the Feanor brothers. and lived under them for a while. And then they were given the choice because their father and mother, Arindil and Elwing or Elray. Man, I'm gonna get crucified with okay.
Tolkien, why couldn't you write normal English?
Nay, Old English.
Yes, Elwing. So Arindil and Elwing were the ones who were the major part of why the War of Wrath occurred, because they went to the Undying Lands and basically said, "We need help. And because Elwing was an elf and Arindil was a man, it was part of the conditions that start the War of Wrath. But that's their story. But at the end of their stories, they were given a choice between becoming mortal to be part of the doom of man, the prophecy, the blessing of mankind, or they get the benefit of being an elf. And Arindil wanted to be with his wife, so he went with becoming an elf. The choice was given to Elrond and Elros, and Elros chose to become a man, while Elrond, of course, chose to become an elf.
That explains a lot.
Yeah. And so Elros, by the way, Elros also is still part of the Baron Luthien, so this is the line where Aragorn comes from. So yes, Aragorn's technically related to Elrond.
So how come Elrond never brought up? How come Elrond never brought up his brother when Arwen was like, "I want to be mortal too"? Like your uncle. Look at your like a failure of an uncle, Arwen. What's wrong with you?
Because Elrond never viewed Elros as being a failure, and Elros did a good job. So he established the Kingdom of Numenor, and so there's just one more region. So you got Armenleos, which is the capital, and then there's a port city of Ravenna, and then there's the city of Eldados. But another important city is Anduni. That's going to be important later on to this story. So anyway, me with my terrible reading of Tolkien names aside, let's continue the story. So Elros founded the Kingdom of Numenor. And when he became an old man, he decided to abdicate the throne. Wait, I think it's abdication. Yeah. Oh, wait, hold on.
So he
died. He died, but then his son. And by the way, at this point, Elros went by a new name. So you'll notice if you look at the kings of Numenor, they have a common thing. They start with Tar. Which is a Quenya.
Please tell me one is named Tarzan.
Unfortunately, no Tarzans.
Boo! Wasted opportunity token.
Yeah, I know. But essentially, Tar means Lord, and then the next part of the name is like a title. Like he's called Tar Miniatur, which means high first ruler, and Tar means king. And then the kingdom thrived. There were changes to the legal system in terms of who becomes king. Originally, it was father to son, and then they switched it to any oldest children. And then around...
So, do we have any female kings?
Yes, there are queens.
Oh. But are there female kings?
You know that they actually did that in Poland? Or like, They never said kings couldn't be a woman.
Huh. Good for the Polish. Quite progressive.
It was
Good for
back
you
in
guys.
the Middle Ages. Sorry for interrupting.
Oh, okay. So an important part about it first came up. The whole father and son come up because
Mm-hmm.
by the death of of Tar Amendil.
Mm-hmm.
It was originally going to be his daughter, Silmarian, and no, her name was actually Tar Orindo. Oh, it's Tar Orindo, the king afterwards. So it's Tar Elendil, and she was going to be king, but what happened? She got passed over for her son, but she inherited like the Ring of Barahir. And by the way, so the way the kingship worked, instead of a crown, it's a scepter.
Oh.
So it was passed over from her, and usually kings advocated the throne when they became an old age.
All right.
So I'm just trying to center myself. So around, would it be 500? Because very quickly after the founding of, oh no, at 600 of the Second Age, that's when the Numenorians decided to sail across the world, except for one exception. So when they got to the island, they had one rule, one simple rule that they can't do, which is they can't go as far from Numenor in the west as far as they can see Numenor. And it was called the Ban of Devour because the idea westward of that is where the Undying Lands are. And men are not allowed to go to the Undying Lands. It's forbidden because the Undying Lands are meant for elves, and the doom of man is to be in the next life. Keep that in mind.
Someone breaks the rule.
Badly. Very badly. So, but before that, so the Numenorians decided to go to Middle-earth, and it was during that point that they established contact with Gil-galad and the elves in Lindon, which is an elf kingdom. And it is also there where they started to teach what is called the middlemen of Middle-earth, a bunch of the guys to bring over the technology, such as ironworking. To them, and they just become teachers. Put a pin on that as well.
Oh, all right.
And everything was going swimmingly. Not a lot of problems. There was one. Let me hold on. Let me. Yes. During this time, there was a king called Tar Aldorion who became known as a mariner because he was known for basically building ships, and he even started a thing called the Adventurers Guild, which is meant for maritime explorers. It was also during this time he got in trouble legally. He started cutting down way too many trees in Numenor.
Got in trouble for cutting trees.
Yes, and so his father said no more tree cutting, so he decided to cut more trees in Middle-earth, which started the seeds of conflict.
Screw you, Dad. I can do what I want.
It was more of a legal loophole.
Well, you see, Dad, it doesn't say that I can't cut my trees here, so I could do what I want.
He was also the one that he changes the rule of succession to be his daughter.
Yeah, you see, I want my daughter because my son's a fucking failure.
No, because his son, he didn't have a son.
Yeah, exactly. His son is a failure. He never even arrived in the egg. To the egg.
Oh my goodness. And then, of course, the next big event is the War of Elves and Men. And that is when, Sauron did his stuff, kill Celebrimbor. And what happens is that Ta Minister, yes, he was the one. He came over and defeated Sauron. He was the one who defeated Sauron, and they had time to prepare because they were warned by the elves that Sauron was coming, and so they took some time to repair it, and then they started to defeat Sauron. And it was at this point where they decided all those they were kind of establishing havens across the coastline of Middle Earth. They decided to make them permanent settlements. And spoiler, it became essentially the Numenorians became the British Empire.
I found some random fucking dirt that is sticking out in the ocean. Just gonna put a flag on that.
It's mine now.
Yeah, they pretty much did, and over time, and now we're entering the period where Numenor became dark, and so them establishing settlements on Middle Earth is like sort of a problem. And then it started to become a little bit of a bigger problem with Tar and Atanamir, which is Second Age 1800. Okay, and he was the first king to refuse to abdicate the scepter.
Oh,
he straight up refused.
You see, this is why you don't leave things up to tradition.
Yeah,
tradition. Get that out of here.
You see, someone's just gonna break it, and they can't just refuse him because he's like, "This, it's not law. It's just tradition."
It's just tradition. We'll be very angry at you, but we can't do anything about
it. Was he overthrown or died of? Was he overthrown or die of old age?
He died of old age.
Let me guess. That caused a crisis later down the line.
No, actually.
No
succession crisis, by the way.
Oh, wow.
Mm-hmm.
So that's one positive of the Numenorian rulership.
There's not much at least he knew how to have sex. Some kings in history legitimately did not know how to have sex. Like
what?
There's this Portuguese king. He was called the Virgin King. Because he didn't have sex.
Wow.
Yeah, but
he ran away from woman.
Okay.
Oh yeah. Ninjato. Elegopolis.
Oh my goodness. But anyway. But here's the thing. So it was this guy's reign when the Numenorians became kind of upset about something. And that is their mortality. And the Valar, who at this point been going to Endonai as like the major port city, frequently visited them. They began to be very resentful, and they slowly became xenophobic to elves.
I don't see anything wrong there. They're elves.
Bastards.
Like they even asked the elves of why can't they go over, and the elves basically told them the spiel. It's like, look, we elves are more connected to the nature. We are created this way, but you are created to go to the next realm. And the Numenorians were going, How is that possible?
Sounds like
How
bullshit
does it
to
sound-
me.
How dare you be?
That sounds
how dare you
BS.
be
We have
racist
to have
with the
faith in
truth?
this. You're requiring us to have faith that we get something good at the next life.
Basically, the elves are going. Well, we get our own, happy ending. You guys, well, you get religion.
Fuck off. Piss off, human.
You get religion. Now leave us alone.
Short, hairy weirdos.
Unfortunately, this is more Tolkien. This is Tolkien, not Games Workshop. So it's the humans who are in the wrong here.
Oh. Yeah, but they're still elves, so you know what?
They're probably pompous pricks while doing it.
Exactly. So they're elves. They're elves. You know what? They probably
All right,
deserve
then
to-
you'll join. So what happened soon afterwards in the next king? The
Let me guess.
people of Numenor.
Wait. Let me guess. Genocide.
No. Politics.
Ew.
There's two political parties that split. One calls the Kingsmen.
Oh my God, there's two political parties.
Oh shit!
Yep.
Shit! We going that we remember what Papa Washington said. You get political parties, get it up in the ass.
Yep. Unfortunately, this is it's more like sort of two religious groups. Honestly.
Oh God, that's even worse.
No, that's no.
That's even worse.
Yeah, I'll tell you the name. So you got the Kingsmen, and the Kingsmen are, to sum up, Numenor first. Like, they're all about Numenor and all about obeying the king. And screw those elves.
Okay, the first and the last one I'm okay with, but the second one, what? He may be in the wrong sometimes.
Yeah, well, they're not that. They're not that bright compared to the faithful, which were they're called the faithful because they cared about the elves. Like care about having a good relationship with the elves and the old religion.
They're in the right.
Yes, this is where Elendil and Isildur are from.
I always kind of prefer when two factions both have good points and bad points.
Well, the thing is, it was more tied. They were not only anti-elves, the Kingsmen. It was also anti-Iluvatar. It was straight up rebel.
What's a Iluvatar again?
God. A god.
Oh, okay.
They rebelled against God.
Yeah, they were becoming essentially Numenor after their first victory over Sauron.
Hey,
they became very arrogant.
Hey, we're gonna create this thing called Reddit and Reddit moderators. We're gonna scream at God the whole time on Reddit.
That is what they've been doing. They were basically just building everything with the idea of trying to obtain mortality, and they were freaking out. And by the way, the more and more Numenor became a descent into their craziness of like being rebellion against the Iluvatar, their lifespan got shorter. So originally, the kings be.
By being atheists, their lives got shorter?
Yes. They became so paranoid about death that, ironically, it quickened their deaths.
That is one of the funniest things I've heard. By becoming atheist, your life expectancy drops drastically.
Reddit atheists probably aren't too smart either, so they're probably going to do something stupid that, shortens their life as well. So,
yeah,
true to life as well. Tolkien being correct again.
And so with more restrictions of like in terms of trading with elves, elvish language in the land, they decided to further expand on their colonies. So two main colonies were established during this period. And by the way, this is also the period when the Nazgul first showing up. And guess what a couple of the Nazgul originally were?
Numenorians.
Numenorians?
Yep.
Wow.
Yep. So, the two places were...
Does that mean that some of the Nazgul are just... Well, at least the Nazgul initially were just a bunch of Reddit atheists?
Yeah, and then they found religion. Remember the previous episode with Sauron?
Yeah, but it's just like it's like we're
going from Reddit atheists to Satan worshippers.
Literally, yes.
You know, maybe you should have just stuck with Reddit atheists, guys.
Well, I mean, it's a step up in a way. Not much of a step up, but a step up.
Yeah, but anyway, so two of the colonies, major
it's just Matchstick 2022 is just it's better to be a Satanist than be an atheist.
Yeah, but so two colonies to keep in mind were established during this time.
Wait. Well, at least you see they're not on Reddit. That's the point. Sorry.
Yeah. Okay. So Umbar was founded by the Kingsmen. Remember Umbar?
Where's Umbar located?
In Harad, in the south. It's also where the Pirates of Umbar.
Oh.
Like the black ships from Return of the King.
I haven't seen Return of the King yet. Only Two Towers and Fellowship.
Basically, there are a bunch of pirates. Pirates and raiders. That one of them mysteriously looked like Peter Jackson. And who got shot by an arrow by Legolas. Anyway, another one is a place called Pelargir, which was founded by the Faithful, and this became an important center for Gondor. Down the line. All right. So over time, there was some trouble with succession. Like there was a time where a queen took over, but she let her husband take rule.
Oh.
Because she didn't want to take the responsibility. And then the 20th king. So before, all the kings kept the tradition of having an elvish name, like Tar. And this one, they went straight up R.
Huh.
With R Adunachor.
Huh.
And he was he was so anti-elf that he banned the language of the elves, which were, by the way, still studied by the nobility at the time. He basically says no elvish tongues around him, no weeb speak. But then a full-on ban. So on the 23rd, with Argimazor, the 23rd king of Numenor, he did a full-on ban of the Elvish language and contact with the elves at this point. And by the way, during this time, the eagles that were hanging out in the mountain, they didn't show up anymore. And then the elves at this point were having such deterioration to begin with. This was just confirmed it. And not only did Argimazor prohibited elves and stuff, there were some elves that were going into Adunai and meeting up with the Faithful secretly and to be in a relationship with them. He moved all the Faithful from that city over to the other side of the island. Just so that they don't have contact. And by the way, at this point, the Faithful are being persecuted. Think at this point that the Faithful are just Christians.
All right.
But here's the funny part. Algimazar turned out he married a Faithful woman. a woman of the
Oh.
faithful. And
good for him.
and the oldest son, they had 2 sons. The oldest became king.
What happened to the younger one?
The younger one took after his father, while the older one took after his mother. So the son becomes known as Tar-Palantir, known as King of Farside.
Okay.
And
what about
Tar-Palantir, essentially at this point, think Tar-Palantir as Joshua. Tar-Palantir. Okay, so Tar-Palantir is essentially Josiah from the Bible, where he was trying to take everything back right. Where it's like, let's be friends with the elves. Let's return to worship of Luvatar. At this point, I forgot a major detail. The white tree existed.
Huh.
What is the white tree again?
Okay, so you will know this when you get to Return of the King. So in Gondor, in Minas Tirith, there's a giant white tree.
Yeah, what's so special about the tree?
Tar-Palantir realized that the tree was planted as a symbol of friendship with the elves. Like the island was raised by Umul, the sea god, who's essentially Pohatu of the Valar.
Oh, okay.
And like he is like the one who gets involved most with the events of Arda than the other Valar. But anyway, and like through their friendship, they made this tree, and this tree turned out to be representing that if the tree like gets destroyed or like dies, that's when the line of Numenor ends. And so it was in disarray because especially our Gimmelzor did not care for it. He hated it. He was just leaving it alone to let it die and like wilt it to death. Slow death. And then Tar-Palantir showed up as like, no, let's take care of this tree, you morons. Unfortunately, at this point, the people of Numenor did not like him. Only like the faithful was like 10% of the population at this point, because a lot of them just simply left.
They're just leaving.
Yeah, they just simply left and went to their
Gondor or something.
Gondor was established after Numenor. Numenor fell.
Or like the like the area that Gondor and like Rohan are.
Yeah. Like essentially all those colonies that they were establishing throughout the Second Age, they were going into those areas. But he was not popular. But he did have a daughter who will become Tar-Miriel. Well, she would have. Remember that he had a brother?
Yeah.
Well, that guy was popular, and he hated the elves, and he was outspoken. And by the way, Palantir's all his attempts of reform did not work. The elves did not came back at all.
All right.
But his
That's
brother,
the elves are fucking dicks, right? You know.
No,
not giving people a second chance.
It was more they were heavily whatever. But
they probably still knew that only like 10% of the population was part of the faithful.
Yeah, and it didn't help what happened afterwards. So Tar-Miriel was supposed to be queen, right?
Okay.
Well, she had a cousin, and his name was Ar-Pharazôn.
All right. So there's a lot of family issues going on here.
And Ar-Pharazôn broke our Farazan, who is the son of like the popular brother of the king, because his father died, decided, I'm gonna be king, because how dare these people have us have relationship with the elves? You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna have a coup and force my sister to, not my sister, my first cousin, which is against the rules, to marry me.
Ooh.
First cousins
He
were
got
banned.
mogged.
He got mocked.
Yep. And that's what happens. He became king, known as our Farazan the Golden. And he's a piece of work. So at this point, Sauron came back. So remember in the last episode we talked about Sauron saying that he's Lord of Men. Remember that Numenorian king who took him and brought him to Numenor as a captive because he really hated elves? And this was the guy.
Ah.
So you know what? We're giving him the title of...
Failure.
Huh.
Yeah, because what happens? So if people listen to the last episode where we talked about Sauron, what happens is that either Sauron underestimated the Numenorians again, their power, and got his butt, and he did a last minute improvisation to let himself be taken captive, taken to Numenor, or he just planned this all along, which I believe in. Like, he just planned this. And he corrupted the Numenorians even further to accept the wonderful truths of Melkor. And this guy decided, when he became an old man, became so scared of dying that he decided to make a giant fleet. Of course, Sauron encouraged him to do this. And the idea of the fleet was to finally go west and take the Undying Lands. So, by the way, I think it's at this point we will just talk about how powerful they are physically. There is evidence, not from the Legendarium, but from future stuff that was released, that Tolkien kind of envisioned at one point that the Numenorians had steampunk technology.
Interesting.
It's kind of
steampunk Lord of the Rings. I want to see that now.
Yeah, where like they had access. One of the ideas was that you get this in what's called like Histories of Middle Earth, and I'll probably explain it more in the canon episode. But essentially, Histories of Middle Earth is every single piece of writing Tolkien wrote on Lord of the Rings. Previous drafts, any note is in one of those books. And includes little bits of lore that kind of changes your perspective a bit. But these were also released after like Peter Jackson's trilogy. Some of them. So some details would severely contradict Peter Jackson, but there's no way Peter Jackson would have access to this knowledge. Like Gollum and Smeagol at one point was thought of to always have clothes on. That he would just scavenge them instead of always being in a loincloth.
Well, loincloth can count as clothes. He got
full on clothes, like a shirt and pants.
I know.
Ew. No, I want to see Gollum butt naked. No, I'm sorry.
I think Peter Jackson had the better idea there.
Well, the thing is, it was
Kinda
not.
sounds-
Nobody knew that it came about, and plus,
Yeah.
here's the thing: it's not just Peter Jackson. It was like the common image. Like if you look up any of Lord of the Rings adaptation, Gollum had that. But anyway, Numenorians at one point thought.
Ninjato, do you really do you guys think that Tolkien would be like, you know what, that's a better idea, Gollum having clothes, not having clothes?
I don't know.
I don't think Peter Jackson just doesn't like it getting adapted at all. No, I mean Tolkien.
I mean, like another another interpretation, like book covers or something like that. He sees a book cover and he's like, "Oh, Gollum doesn't have clothes on." You just have, that's a better idea.
Maybe, you know what, Smeagol? I don't know.
Maybe you do. Maybe you do look better with just a loincloth, and that's it.
And remember, these versions did not make it into the final versions. Like, he had time to develop like Numenor.
A different idea.
Yeah, but so it seemed like he kind of ditched the idea of a steampunk Numenor, and just went back to sails and boats.
I don't think he. In my mind, I don't think maybe he should have done the steampunk thing, but that would have been,
that would have been really, one hell of an idea.
That would have been really interesting to see. That I actually kind of want. Now I actually kind of want to see that happen one way or another, like steampunk Lord of the Rings.
Well, then it can also just show. I think because I think his idea was that he wanted to make a civilization that was like greater than what becomes, because it then highlights how everything falls. Because by the time of Lord of the Rings, Gondor is still using medieval technology. So if they previously used machines, and also remember, in Tolkien's point of view, when he purposely set something up to be mechanized machines like steampunky, it's usually used by the forces of evil. Because he shows the horrors of industrialization, of like landscapes getting stripped barren. So if we go with the steampunk vibe, it's like the island of Numenor would actually be very bare at this point. It would actually be closer to Mordor. But anyway, so he also Al-Farazan not only was building a big fleet, he built a temple to Morgoth, 500 feet tall.
It's just straight up Satan worshipping now.
Yep, including human sacrifices.
Oh, lovely.
And human sacrifice, where do they get them? Oh, those colony peoples that are...
oh, yeah, it's the colonies. Nobody cares about them. It's not like there's 13 of them and they hate all of us and they want the taxes of humans put away.
Yeah, they just grab the faithful and anyone that's not Numenorian and just tired to be human sacrifice.
We're gonna call ourselves Aztecs, and all of our warriors are gonna wear like blue jackal like helmets.
Yeah, but so this huge fleet was called the Great Armament. So they set to battle on the Undying Lands, and it's at this point when Numenor started to fully end. So what happens is that Mendel, if I remember his name right, come on, where is his father? So, Elendil's father, Amandil. So, Amandil was the leader of the faithful in Numenor. And he knew what was coming, because one thing, Manwë sent eagles to basically warn him, but they kept on, Ar-Pharazôn, and through Sauron's corruption, it's like, oh, this is an act of war. Oh, no. Matchstick got hit by again.
Damn. Acts of war right there. Speaking of acts of war, this is criminal. They killed Matchstick. SMH.
Yeah.
StreamYard. SMH.
Man, that's yeah. Would a canon episode be interesting to do?
Sure. I wouldn't mind that. Oh, there he is.
Okay, this time I accidentally just exited out.
Okay,
I
hold
wasn't
on.
kicked. We were at the Eagles.
Yeah. 3, 2, 1. Okay, so attack. So Alfarazon treated it as an act of war, so he says, "We're gonna strike back." Amendil, the leader of the faithful, knew. Oh, flip!
The Eagles are
We're in
coming.
We're in trouble. Okay, so his plan was simple. He will gather a few of his servants to go to the Undying Lands to basically ask for help.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Much like his ancestor Arendil. Meanwhile, Elendil and Isildur, by the way, the White Tree got cut down by this point, but Isildur saved it by grabbing the seed before it could get cut down. And he only got away with it because Amandil was still well respected. So it's like, yeah, we know you're one of the faithful, one of those weebs, elf weebs, but
oh god, you're one of those weebs, aren't you?
But we have no real grounds to throw you into the human sacrifice pits.
Well, I mean, why don't they just, do the typical way everyone gets people that they don't have any grounds on? Tax evasion. That's what they always do. It's just, what we need? Tax evasion.
Apparently, there's no such thing as taxation in Numenor. The colonies, yeah, but not Numenor. Apparently. But anyway, so Amandiel leaves Numenor to head to the Undying Lands and is never heard from again. We don't know whether his voyage was successful or a complete failure. Meanwhile, Elendil and Isildur gather the rest of his followers, and as soon as they couldn't get back from Elendil, within a week or so, they just sailed away. Wait, screw this crap! I'm out.
Fuck this shit, I'm out.
Yeah, and it was just in time. You see, by that time, Alfarazon landed in the Undying Lands. And at this point, the Valar had this rule where they couldn't attack any of the children of Iluvatar. So guess who they decided to talk to?
Who?
Iluvatar.
We can't talk to Iluvatar.
No, we can't. We can't punish the children of Iluvatar. Let's bring in Daddy.
Oh. So they literally just pulled a. I'm gonna tell on your dad. No, don't do that. Excuse me, Mr. Iluvatar. Your son. I don't know. Your son embarrassed me. Son, did you really do that?
F you, Dad. That's basically what's happening, and Iluvatar decided to do a couple things. So first, he swallowed the fleet with the sea. The fleet's gone, and then our Farazon and all of his men on the shore get swallowed up by the hills, and may not be released until the final battle of all time. And then he decided to change the world by making it round.
I'm sorry, what?
Oh yeah. So you see, by this point, Arda is flat.
Right, you told us that. So, that was so. Then he decided, you know what? World's a globe now. What? Yeah, it's a globe now.
Yeah.
Have fun.
Yeah. And then he also says, okay, you know the Undying Lands? Yeah, nobody can access it. No mortal anymore. Except for a secret path that only elves know.
All right, good luck, everyone.
And then also, Numenor? What? Bye-bye! And sadly, Tarmiriel gets drowned in the sinking of Numenor.
Oh.
Oh, no.
Oh, no.
She's sad.
Shame.
You know, she basically got raped.
Well, when you put it like that.
That's what happened.
Mog strikes again.
God damn it, Mog! You can't keep doing this.
And then Sauron actually loses. This was when he lost his ability to shapeshift.
Oh.
And stuff. But
Sauron looks at himself in the mirror and it's just like, it's not the same. I'm not Mystique. I can't transform myself into Mystique anymore.
I'm gonna become an eye now.
I mean, just big ass eye.
Just big ass eye. That's what I'm gonna do.
Yeah, and essentially this is all the surviving Numenorians have fled and landed in the colony. So this is when Gondor and Arnor, both kingdoms, human kingdoms, were set up. But also, remember Umbar?
Remind
yes.
me.
The one that the Kingsmen established, right?
Ah.
Yeah. Well, there were survivors of the Kingsmen, and they became Sauron fanboys. And they got even a new nickname. The Black Numenorians.
Yo, yes. Dog, we Sauron worshippers and shit.
We was Numenorians and shit.
Yeah. Yes, that was kind of their mentality. And of course, in this one, black means not skin color, but more in relationship to black
morality.
Thought. Yeah, morality. But
that's still kind of funny, though. Just we were Numenorians and shit.
Yep, and that's essentially the story in Numenor. Yes, I pretty much skimmed a lot of the individual rulers because there is some interesting stuff about them, about each of their stories, and of course they're going to have a huge impact on Second Age stories because like this is like men, the kingdom of men, the greatest they've been in the world of Lord of the Rings. Like the closest is when Aragorn becomes king of Gondor.
So, okay, that's quite a way to end. That's quite a way to end, though. Just we end with the Numenorians becoming black.
Well, half of them became
half
evil.
of them became black, and the other half became white.
Oh my goodness!
So when's Numenorian race war coming?
It was already happening with the Haradrim and the Easterlings. Poor guys. Yeah. So, do you think? What do you guys think of Numenor?
Is it wrong that what's in my mind right now is just so they became black.
And the other half became white.
Truly.
I am full of shame of you two.
Well, but you said yourself though. They went around saying, "Hey, guess what? We're black now."
No, it was a title given to them because of black.
I know it's a joke. It's a joke.
Hey, you're black now.
We're all black now.
All right. So, yeah. So, what would you want next time?
Next time,
Wheel of Time.
Well, yeah. Next time is Wheel Time, and then the month. Actually, yeah. Next month is Wheel Time. Then it's October.
Something spooky.
I know something perfectly spooky.
You want to screw October? Why don't you talk about Shelob?
Yes, we're not just talking about
the spiders.
Yes, we're not just talking about Shelob.
Yeah.
We're also including Ungoliant, her mother.
Wasn't her mother though not a spider?
She took form of a spider, and she's usually depicted as a giant spider.
I kind of like the idea of her just having sex with a spider. It's a funnier image.
All right. Yeah. So next month. Month for September, we're doing Wheel of Time, and then October we're doing Shelob and Ungoliant.
Yeah, I am so looking forward to October now.
Hey, don't worry, we'll talk about Wheel of Time. All right, so let's.
I'll bring my A game for that one.
All right.
Yeah, all right, so let's end this
Anything
off.
to distract me from spiders.